tell the kids a story about courage and doing what's right in God's eyes before other people?
I beg your pardon, Randall. I don't remember being informed about this.
You're right, Rupert. I forgot to tell you, but I figured being the intelligent bird that you are, you'd be able to jump right in and help us out.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, you're quite right there, Randall, quite right.
Good. Many, many years ago, long before the time of Christ, there lived a giant man named Goliath of the Philistine army who was an enemy of God's army, the Israelites.
Well, how big was this so-called giant, Randall?
He stood over 9 feet tall.
Oh, my. Twice your height, shorty.
Rupert, that wasn't nice.
I'm sorry.
I forgive you.
You're welcome.
You can see why people are afraid of Goliath. He'd come out every day with his large bronze helmet, wearing armor that weighs almost as much as me, carrying a huge sword and spear.
Oh, how fierce.
He'd mock God's army, saying, "Choose a man from among you."
Excuse me, Randall, but if you were so big and fierce, wouldn't you have a deep voice?
Well, I suppose so.
Then do it that way. If you're going to tell the story, at least do it properly.
Choose a man among you. If he can come down and kill me, we will become your servants. But if I kill him, you will become our servants.
I've had enough. Let's go home.
Upon hearing Goliath's threats, King Saul and the whole Israelite army were terrified.
Well, I could see why, the big bully.
No one had the courage to fight Goliath except one young boy. And do you know who that was, Rupert?
Moses?
No.
Jehoshaphat.
Jehoshaphat?
God bless you.
Stop. Come on, who's the only one who had courage enough to fight Goliath? David.
Oh, yes, of course. I knew that. Yes, of course.
Well, David was a young boy who tended a certain flock of animals his father owned. Now, Rupert, here's your chance to redeem yourself. What did David tend?
Cows.
No. Pigs? Pigs? Rupert, you know better than that. The Jews considered pigs unclean. What? Here's your clue. Flock of animals did David tend? A flock of birds. No. What were they, kids? Sheep.
Oh, yes, of course. I knew that. Yes, of course. You know, Randall, since these children are so intelligent, I think we ought to let them participate in the story.
How so?
Well, whenever I or you say the word sheep, they can make the sound effects of sheep. Let me hear you make the sounds of sheep, children. Not bad. Let's do a trial run, shall we? David tended his father's sheep. Aren't they good sheep? Now remember, whenever Randall or I say that word, you make the sound effects. This little exercise is acceptable to you, is it not, Mr. Malick?
Yes, as long as you don't overdo it.
Of course not.
Good. Now, where was I?
You were saying, David tended his father's sheep.
Yes, he tended the flock.
Oh.
And when David heard about Goliath's threats to the Israelites, he was outraged that no one had the courage to stand up for God and defeat this giant man.
Oh?
So David decided he would.
Oh, my. What did King Saul think of David's offer to fight Goliath?
At first, he was really pleased until he saw how young and small David was compared to Goliath, who had been a soldier from his youth.
And the king knew that David was just a shepherd boy tending his father's sheep.
That's enough for now, Rupert. David admitted that, but then he went on to say to the king, whenever a bear or lion would come and attack my flock of sheep,
Rupert, oh, don't be so stuffy, Randy.
I would go after that bear or lion, David said, catch it and kill it with my bare hands.
Oh, gross. That's barbaric.
The Lord deliver me from the paws of the lion and the paws of the bear, David said. He'll most certainly deliver me from this Philistine.
Well, did King Saul give David his blessing?
Yes.
And David must have had some sort of strategy or plan to fight Goliath, did he not?
Yes, David got out his sling, his staff.
Staff. Sounds like an infection.
No, in this case, it's a large stick.
Oh.
And 5 smooth stones, which he put into a shepherd's bag.
Oh, the bag he used to watch his father's?
No more mention of that word. Very good.
Sheep.
So David went out to meet Goliath with his sling, his staff, and his 5 smooth stones.
That's it?
Yes.
Oh, tell me when it's over.
When Goliath saw David coming toward him and how young and unarmed he was insulted. He mocked David, saying, "Am I
Deeper voice.
Am I a dog that you come to me with a stick?
And David said, "Here, boy, fetch."
Ew.
Am I a dog that you come to me with a stick?
And do you know what David said?
Yes, he said, "No, I don't think you're a dog. I think you're a
Let go!
sheep."
Rupert, you bit my arm.
Well, you stuck it in my mouth.
I want you to promise me you will not say that word anymore.
What word was that, Randall?
You know what word.
Yes, of course, I knew that, yes.
Goliath continued.
You come here, and I'll kill your little body and feed it to the beasts of the field and the birds of the air.
Oh, spare me. I mean, really.
Now it was David's turn to reply. He looked up to Goliath and he said, "You come against me with your sword and your spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord, God Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will hand you over to me, and I'll strike you down and cut off your head." Yuck. "And I'll feed your body to the beasts of the field and the birds of the air, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel. And all those gathered here will realize it's not by the sword or the spear that the Lord saves, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will deliver you all into our hands."
Well, what happened then?
David didn't wait for his enemy to come after him. He took the stone, put it in the sling, whirled it around, released the stone at just the right time, and the stone hit Goliath smack in the middle of the forehead.
Do that again.
The stone hit Goliath smack in the middle of the forehead.
One more time.
That's enough.
I thought maybe we could knock him out.
What?
That must have made Goliath really angry.
Well, actually, David's aim was so good, he threw the stone so hard that Goliath fell over dead.
Then what?
David walked over and chopped off Goliath's head.
Oh, gross. I've heard enough of this barbarism. I'm going to go lay down before I get sick.
No, wait. We want to know what you think the story means.
The meaning is rather obvious, Randall. They were uncivilized back then.
No. Think of the spiritual meaning.
How so?
Well, here's one man, giant though he may have been,
Goliath?
yes, putting an entire army in fear with threats he couldn't carry out. And yet there was one young boy who loved God so much,
David?
he was willing to stand up and risk his own life to defeat this giant man.
I think I see now.
What's that?
Well, all of us have something we're afraid of in life, like a Goliath. Yuck. You know, it might be being alone in our room in the dark at night, or being on the playground when there's a bully. But we can be like David and turn to God and ask God to be with us, and God can make us unafraid.
Wow, that was really good, Rupert.
Well, thank you, Randall. That was good, but how about all those sheep?
Will you stop saying sheep?
Gotcha. We finally made him say it.
Yes, but now you can say goodbye.
Oh, so soon?
Yes.
All right. Well, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Rupert the Bird the Third saying goodbye, God bless, and until later, ta-ta, bye, and you. Bye, see you later.